Okay, we're live, we're live, we're live, we're live, we're live, we're live. Hey, guys, Old Man G here, back again with another video for Red Devil Studios. First of all, apologies for those who were on the previous stream. It was going to be audio, video, etc. But unfortunately, my internet, I think that there's a storm in the UK which has been causing internet issues, primarily Wi-Fi issues in my flat. So I'm using my mobile 4G data to basically stream for you guys. And I think it's just basically too much, whether it's because of bars or what have you, I don't know. But basically, I think the easiest kind of sort of way is if I basically just only do audio with a bit of share screen here and there. And hopefully we can have a show on our hands. Please let me know if you can hear me, if the mic is working, etc., etc. We'll have that conversation. Hopefully show you images so it's not just you just seeing a big screen thing, me not doing anything. But this won't be the usual form of how we do things. It is just, unfortunately, I'm just getting a bit of bad luck with the internet in the flat right now. I really need to change providers. It's a bit of a joke, frankly. Anyway, thanks everyone for just persevering with me. Let me just quickly basically tell you how we're going to do things. So simple terms, really. This is basically a video where we're discussing why I would deem as United's best Manchester United starting 11. I'm going to hopefully do a bit of a Q&A, depending on how many people obviously tune in. I'd say apologies for the issues beforehand. And then we'll just basically just take things from there. So without further ado, what I'll do is I will go through what I think is United's best starting 11. I'll show you the image from a share screen in a second, and then I'll then talk to you through about why I think United's best second team is for the Europa League, etc. And then we'll just do some sort of Q&A stuff, assuming obviously you want to ask me questions, and you can ask me any questions regarding Manchester United or European football, etc. That we're going to keep this very, very casual. So without further ado, let's quickly just go into it. So if everyone can see that, hopefully, or who will be seeing it, this is what I think Manchester United's best starting 11 should actually be. So as you can see, and I'll talk you obviously through it, David De Gea, for me, has to be in goal. This is the player who, although he's had these issues and he's had a lot of issues, this is the type of player who's going to start for us in goal. He's got no risk of dropping out. So David De Gea, number one, is going to be in goal for Manchester United. There's just no doubt about that right now. Following David De Gea, obviously have right back here, we have Wan-Bissaka, if everyone can see. Wan-Bissaka has been United's, I'd argue, probably been one of United's best players all season. He's been consistent. Yes, he's not been great going forward, but he has been the one of the bright sparks of the future for Manchester United. The key issue for me with Wan-Bissaka is just rest. Like, he needs rest. He can't play all the games. You could see it in the last two games where you could just see how tired he's gotten. And this is where I think that Dalot will come in. But certainly from we're talking about our best starting 11, and Wan-Bissaka basically has to be in the picture here. Followed by that, we have Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof here. There is an argument for likes of Baily, Jira Dogma. Shout out, how you doing? What's up? Let me know if my audio is working, please. Please let me know if my audio is working, because I've been having some technical issues. The whole thing, it's been quite frustrating, but hopefully we'll get stuck into it. So, but let me know if there are any issues at all. And this is very much audio, and as opposed to not. So Maguire and Lindelof will basically be our best centre-back pairings in that respect. There is an argument for likes of Baily or Tuanzebe, but the reality is that Baily and Tuanzebe have both been out for most of the season with long-term injuries. A little scratchy. Okay. Let me see if I can change that. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry. Give me 2 seconds, everybody. Can everyone hear? Testing. Let me know if you can hear. If you can't hear me, that's okay. I'll sort it out. If you can hear me, I'll crack on. Just let me know in the comments. In fact, hold on for 2 seconds. It's fine now. Awesome. Great. That's good. Good. Okay, I'll carry on now. So yeah, so there is an argument, like I said, for tuanzebe and Eric Bailly in the centre back pairing. But as I've said multiple times, tuanzebe and Bailly have been injured for most of the season. Bailly, I don't think has started for United this season at all, and so as a result, if Bailly is going to be part of this team, even though I think a fit Bailly is better than the defenders that we have, I think the best solution for him is to be United's second team. So from that point of view, Lindelof and Maguire basically are first choice centre backs. That's what they are. Sorry, guys. Apologies. A little bit flustered because of how bad this stream is going. So, but we'll get better streams. As far as the left back position goes here, as everyone can see, Luke Shaw. I've gone for Luke Shaw. I've gone for Luke Shaw predominantly because he starts to pick up. I think that while Brandon Williams has certainly got a lot of talent, and I think we should certainly nurture that talent, I think that Luke Shaw basically he's obviously got the experience, he's obviously a bit more senior. I think Luke Shaw has got a good balance of going forward and also his defense ability. But I just think that he's got a point to prove as well, you know. So, and I think I'd be I think we need to start protecting our youth as well. And I think that we can't have the likes of Williams and Greenwood, etc., carrying this Manchester United side. Luke Shaw should have the experience to be. He's already a Europa League winner. He should have the experience to see us through. So I say Luke Shaw goes in this position, and his form has been improving. So there we go. Thanks everyone who's watching, by the way. Please leave a like on the vid, and hopefully this show can be a bit better. Lauren Krasnicki, thank you for going into the chat. I would have Brandon Williams at the left and Greenwood at the right wing. So I'm going to comment to that because for me, this is United's best start 11 for the league. But I am going to I'm going to sort of change this lineup a bit, and then change it and show you guys where I feel that United now have can field at least two good teams to compete in the Premier League and to compete in Europa League. And at some point, we might have to decide which one we want to go for. But at the very least, if we're going to go for the Premier League right now, I think that this is certainly a good Premier League team. So I've gone for the formation 4-3-3 for a reason, because I feel that we will get the best out of Bruno Fernandes in this position. And so that's why I've gone for putting Matic in the predominantly defensive midfielder role. I think that Matic has shown this season, you know, that again, given a bit of game time, he has improved slightly. He's been able to pass the ball forward. He's been able to be good defensively as well, and causing problems there. So I think that Matic is a player that I don't think can play two games in one week. So I certainly think, from the point of view of having Matic in our Premier League team, in our Premier League squad, Matic should basically start ahead, protecting the back two of Lindelof and Maguire, who need protecting. We shouldn't really be playing two holding midfielders. I think Fred can go maybe play slightly further up in the absence of Pogba, for example, and McTominay will just be coming in. And then Fernandes can play ahead of them play slightly further. So I would probably have, so you say Matic here, probably Fred, if you bring Fred sort of here and have sort of Fernandes sort of slightly further up, makes sense. That way Fred can either drop in to help Matic to hold and protect the back two, and also link up with Fernandes, who can then go on and then link up with the other front three. That's basically how I see things, if you can see my cursor, guys. So obviously Bruno Fernandes ahead of Fred. Bruno Fernandes has got a lot of potential, and I think I can already see signs that Bruno Fernandes is going to be doing a lot of stuff with this Manchester United team. So fingers crossed that Bruno Fernandes can make the difference. I think that if Ollie plays Bruno Fernandes forward, and especially either at the top of a diamond, or in a 4-3-3. I think that is the best you're going to get as an attacking midfielder, you know, passing the ball forward, creating chances. Bruno Fernandes can give us that. That's assuming Ole Gunnar Solskjaer plays Bruno Fernandes in this position and doesn't bring him back and play him here in place of Matic or something. You know, I hope that that doesn't happen. It happened against Wolves, which was fairly frustrating, though I know that Matic was suspended for that game. But fingers crossed, Ole does not play Bruno Fernandes here. Georgia B, shout out to you. Bruno can't overcome the poor play around him. Sorry, let me get some of these comments up that you guys are posting. Yeah, Bruno can't overcome the poor play around him. Well, see, this is why I feel that, as you can see, the formation I'm showing ahead of you guys is what we should play. This is what we should play, because I feel like if Fernandes is in this position or in this position, he'll have the license to connect with the front three. He'll be able to create chances. He is our creative spark in the absence of Paul Pogba. He shouldn't be given defensive responsibilities. Although I think, to be honest, he played a semi-decent, good holding role when he played against Wolves. But that isn't why we got Bruno Fernandes, and he really should be in this position, or at the very least this position, not here. So fingers crossed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer plays him in that position, because I think if you got Martial on the left, and we'll go on to Martial, because I feel that Martial as a number 9, it's not working. It's not working without Rashford. It's not working without Rashford. He's not staying central. He keeps on drifting out wide. And again, we don't seem to see that many people in the box. Ighalo is at least a number 9. So I suspect the Martial position is on the left wing, coming inside like that, and hopefully creating chances for likes of Ighalo, and maybe hopefully Fernandes becoming part of the play as well, with maybe Fred giving some support, you know, and Daniel James as well. You know, at some point, you're wanting something like this. In an ideal world, we wanted something like this, where we should almost be playing like that, in a way, if United are going to basically go forward in our quick counter-attacking transition. This is basically how we should be setting up. Lauren Krasnicki, I'll get these comments up. I don't know about you guys, but I think Ighalo will do a good job until Rashford comes back. Fair enough, Lauren. Georgia B says, Bruno did more coaching on the pitch than Ole or his staff seems to do. Ole just sits and watches. I noticed that, actually, and it was actually check out my video that I posted about Fred's comments. It's really worth a watch, actually, on what Fred said about the state of Manchester United, because Pastor Fred was dropping a lot of truth bombs there, a lot of truth bombs. So just check out that video, because it was quite eye-opening about the issues going on at Manchester United Football Club right now. So yeah, essentially, this is at least how I feel that Manchester United should set up. I think Martial, I think it would be crazy if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer uses Ighalo as a backup striker and puts Ighalo on the bench in place of Martial. It's evident that Martial prefers to be on the left. I'm not saying Martial's a terrible number 9, but his preference has always been to come in from the left. And without Marcus Rashford to link up with him, I think that Martial should go onto this side. Daniel James, it's obvious. I mean, I feel Daniel James has been actually not great for the last month or so. But what alternatives do we have? You know, do you play Pereira or Lingard there, who have all had terrible games? So I think Daniel James, for his pace and his tenacity and his defensibility, you know, so on this side, I think Daniel James is there. And of course, Odion Ighalo. Before I go into let's have a look at more of your comments, guys. Maybe George says maybe Ighalo will light to fire up Martial's butt. Who knows? I hope he does. Ilya United, long time no see. Ilya United, man, where have you been? Long time. Matic out, mate. Matic out. Please like the vid, by the way, guys. Really appreciate it if everyone would like the vid. Mate, Matic has actually done okay, you know, in the last couple of games, and we don't have any midfielders. And I think that I know Matic is going to do that defensive holding midfielder role If Matic doesn't play in that position, then either Fred or Fernandes is going to play. Then we don't want Bruno Fernandes playing in that position. You know, we really don't. Now, about Odi Ighalo. About Odi Ighalo here. I know a lot of United fans are mixed with the Ighalo signing, and we posted a video about that at the January transfer deadline day. I know a lot of United fans, you know, feel that we should have gotten better, and there is an argument that we should have. We were linked with Erling Haaland. He went to Dortmund, Ken Cavani, and all the way to Ighalo, who's playing the Chinese Super League. However, Ighalo, certainly from his interview anyway, showing that he really wants to make an impact at United. He's really passionate. He's a United fan. He wants to be at the club, and that's very, very encouraging. And that needs to, and hopefully that translates to work on the field. I think that Ighalo cannot be a super sub. Okay, with Rashford out, Ighalo cannot be a super sub. You know, it can't. Oli cannot play Ighalo like, oh, play Martial for 70 minutes and then put Ighalo on. Yes, I think Ighalo will need to bring his fitness back up. So maybe in the first game or two, he might do that. But I think you've got to play Ighalo, you know, in this number 9 position. It's paramount because Ighalo will be able to hold up the ball. Ighalo will stay central, which is the most important thing. Ighalo is not going to... I've seen Ighalo play in Watford, and Ighalo is not going to... so what was that? Ighalo is not going to drift from side to side like that. You know, Ighalo will basically stay central, okay? If Fernandes plays the ball to him like that, if Martial brings in, crossing the ball like that, if Daniel James lays up to him, Ighalo, who's good with his head, who could hold the ball, Ighalo will create chances and will score goals. Eddie United says, I think Robin van Greenwood needs to play. James needs rest. There is an argument for Greenwood to come in, but I think, and I'll touch into this later, Ighalo scores all his goals in the box. Yeah, and the thing is that for me, I highlight this point, Georgia B, but for me, this is the thing. This is the issue. The issue here with Manchester United is that we haven't had anyone in the box. You know, like we've had without Rashford. You know, we haven't had. If you look at previous games, we haven't had anyone in the box at all. We tried to create chances. We've had crosses. Wan-Bissaka crossing, James crossing, but no one's been in the box. No one's attacked things. We need someone who just basically, frankly, stays in the penalty box, hassles defenders, and creates and gets shots off. That's what we need. That's what we need now. That's what we need. You know, that's definitely what we need. So that's why I think Manchester United's, you know, so I know a lot of you guys have been talking about, you know, Mason Greenwood and actually having him. So this is what I'm going to do here. So if I just bear with me, I'm going to basically just adjust this. So this is the team that I feel should be Manchester United's team of best starting 11 for the Premier League. Okay, as we continue to try and push for a top 4 finish. But if we're talking about the Europa League, because I think the United are going to be fighting on 2 fronts, Europa League or FA Cup, certainly as we get deeper into the competition, just have a look at this. And I'll be editing it as you can see. So if you can see that, change, Romero is in goal. I'll take Shaw out and put Williams on the left. This is our Europa League, or what I feel is our second squad that can compete. I think you drop Maguire and you bring in tuanzebe, who's near enough fitness. Wan-Bissaka drops out and you put Dalot there. On the left, who goes on the left here? That's interesting. We'll come back to that. I think what you do is actually you probably put Ighalo out and put Greenwood through the center, I think. Let's look at our midfield here. Someone's going to need a rest. Let me know what your suggestions are. Who is on the Manchester United that comes in? Probably. Do you put Phil Jones? I'll put Lindelof/Jones here because Jones is gonna at some point have to come and play in this team to give Lindelof a rest. So we'll do that. Matic can't play in both teams, so we'll take Matic out. I think that probably, especially we're talking about Europa League, Ghana might come into the squad to at least provide some additional midfield cover, because we definitely need that. I hear reports that McTominay is basically in his, so potentially McTominay might be coming back. So I'll take Fred out here and probably put McTominay here. McTominay did travel with the United squad for what's it called again? A warm field, hot climate training. So I'm anticipating McTominay is going to be back sooner rather than later. In which case, everyone's speaking. Is that Polish? Is everyone speaking Polish in the comments? Georgia B says the box is the place. Marshall's completely unfamiliar and agreed. Crosses fly past the keeper with nobody attacking the far post. Fair enough. I think that, so yeah, Ghana, McTominay, or possibly it's put Ghana and Fred there because our squad is so bare. Fernandes, I think, is probably fit enough to play both games. I think you're speaking Albanian. Sorry, not Polish, Albanian. Thank you for the correction there, Lauren Krasnicki. Thank you. I had a feeling Albanian because of the icon. I think Fernandes could probably play in both competitions, to be honest. I think his fitness is there, and I think we need some captaincy there. So I'll leave Fernandes in that position. If not, then, you know, I would have said Angel Gomez, but it looks like he's out of favor with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So I don't see that happening. As far as the front three go, you guys are right that Daniel James needs a rest. So I think if I'm going to put number 10, I think Chong should go there. I think you should have Chong, and you've got Greenwood, and then you've got Martial basically there. That's what I think. Either that, or if ighalo comes up to fitness, you can bring on ighalo and alternate with Martial. But that's where I think. Well, actually, you know what? Let's rest Martial. Let's put Chong there, and number 10, we'll put Jesse Lingard here. Lingard's going to have to play at some point. And I'll just put this and put Pereira here. Right. Pereira. Okay. There we go. Cool. Okay. Before I go back. Okay. So, long story and short of this is basically how I feel like our Europa League second team or FA Cup team should be. We can't compete on all three fronts by playing our best starting 11, which is what I showed you guys before. So I feel like this team with Romero in goal, Dalot at right back, Williams at left back, Lindelof or Jones, and we're paired with Tuanzebe as centre backs. Ghana or Fred in midfield. Well, probably midfield of McTominay, who'll be back, Ghana or Fred, and then Pereira in front of them, giving a bit of a rest for Bruno Fernandes. And then on the right, have Lingard, Greenwood, and Chong. But most likely, Martial will probably come in for Chong. I'll just put Martial there, who will alternate with Greenwood. So this is basically what I would say is our best second team, if that makes any sense. Certainly, I think some of these players, some of these bench players should play against Club Brugge and in the FA Cup. But as I said, we cannot play a strong starting 11 against all the time. Otherwise, we're going to pick up injuries. Now, let me just turn to some of your comments. Let's turn to some of your comments. Right. Linky will play in League 2, says Georgia B. Ilianite says, I never want to see Andreas to play for United. He is a terrible player. Shout out to Telby, you're back. Thank you for joining the chat. So yeah, guys, that's what I think the United's best starting 11 and second best starting 11 is. We're gonna push that for one side. We've got 24 minutes in, and we're gonna actually go to basically just a Q&A now. I'll just stop the screen share. So apologies, it is literally just me and my Manchester United logo here. You can't see my face. But if you guys have any Manchester United related questions, any football related questions, any European questions, any other questions that you want to ask, this is the time. We're going to hopefully do this every Sunday. I'll probably do pre-recorded videos, and every week I will post on the channel if you just want to basically just what questions that you guys want me to address in this sort of Sunday night live Q&A, and that will go live every Sunday night around about 8:30 UK time. It'll be half an hour of me discussing issues around Manchester United, but also just discussing any questions that you guys have. So now's the time, guys. Just ask away in the comments, ask your questions, and we'll be here to address. So let me know, and I'll also be reading out your comments as well as discussing what you think the future. So let's make this interactive and let's get engaged. So just looking through these comments here. So shout out to Telbo, welcome back. Telbo says Ollie should have sold Lingard to Blackburn Rovers. I think Blackburn League 2. I think Blackburn are League 2. They're in League 2 now, aren't they? Illinois to Telbo, you are wrong. Lingard needs to go to Tranmere. I think they might be in the same league. Georgia B asked the question. Thank you. What's Tuanzebe's status? Is he back in training yet? So the last thing I checked about Tuanzebe is that Tuanzebe, it's been confirmed that Tuanzebe is basically on the flight to with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his team for their sort of winter pressures. Not winter pressure, sorry. Hot summer climate training. That's it. That's where they are. So he is back in training. He's training with Scott McTominay. Warm weather training camp. That's it. Warm weather training camp in southern Spain was where their base is for the winter break. So McTominay and Tuanzebe are there training with the team. While McTominay is unlikely to be back in time for United's next Premier League game because he's still obviously recovering, but he's there. According to Manchester Evening News, Tuanzebe, what does it say here? Tuanzebe's got a shout for being ready for Chelsea. That's basically the lowdown on here. So back to fitness. Unfortunately, Paul Pogba wasn't able to turn up, and Ighalo can't go because of coronavirus fears. Let's have a look. Okay, let's back to comments. Lingard is the maestro of football. Yeah. Yeah, brilliant. Chong is 2 times better than Lingard. I think one of the saddest things about this season at Toby is that Chong has actually not been given enough opportunities. Lingard has been given tons of opportunities, but Chong has not been. And I think that's a shame. I think that is a very, very, very big shame. Let's look at more of your questions. Telba B says, Cristiano Ronaldo, I've never seen. I wish I could play with him in Piemonte Calcio. Oh man, it's show like commented here, man. Yeah, I think that's quote of the night. I think quote of the night. Cristiano, I've never seen bigger talent than Lingard. I wish I could play with in Piemonte Calcio. You know, if anyone doesn't get that, the Juventus sold the rights to EA regarding Juventus, so they can't even say the term Juventus in FIFA anymore. Like it's all down to PES. So you can play Juventus in PES, the stadium, everything, but in FIFA it goes Piemonte Calcio, which I think is quite amusing. But yeah, let's have a look more of the comments. By the way, against Astana, Lingard as captain, and I quite have laughed. Fair enough. I mean, I do think that I think Lingard does deserve, you know, the criticism that he gets, but I do think some of it is a bit harsh at times. We just criticize his ability on the field, but nothing more. Lingy won't ever activate the Ballon d'Or clause in his contract. Is that real? Is there actually a Ballon d'Or clause in his contract? Please let me know about that, guys, because that's banter if that's the case. It really is. thanks everyone who's actually been watching. By the way, again, I really apologize. I usually would have a video live up with this, but it's just I've had some bad internet issues. Please like the video. I really appreciate the ongoing support. Share the video as well, and just get involved. So does anyone have any questions regarding Manchester United or other football teams, or personal, or whatever? Or what do you think I think? Just ask away in the comments below. Just keep on asking. Let's get engaged, and hopefully we've got to get some good Q&A stuff for the next 10 minutes or so, and then we'll just begin to wrap things up. Let's quickly just have a look at 2 seconds. Okay, let's have a look. Let's get this up here. So Telbert, oh, okay, so questions. Okay, sorry guys. Right, okay, I'm back. Okay, back. Right. What do you think about Pogba? Tel, what do I think about Pogba? I think, in fact, let me show it. I think that poor Pogba, I think that poor Pogba wanted to leave Manchester United. I think because poor Pogba is ambitious. You know, that ultimately is why poor Pogba wants to leave Manchester United. He's an ambitious footballer. He wants to win trophies. He was doing that at Juventus, and he came to Manchester United because he wanted to be part of that project. And, you know, it's chaos, really. It's chaos. So do I blame poor Pogba for the state of Manchester United? I know a lot of people do, but I don't. I'll show this now. Yeah, poor Pogba here. I don't blame poor Pogba at all for... I do think that because he doesn't want to play, perhaps maybe him getting back to fitness, getting back to that's playing on his mind, it's difficult, though I think his injury is substantial. But I just think that shout out to Gio Dogma, got to go for dinner. Take care, buddy. I just think that yes, he doesn't help himself sometimes with social media, dabbing, and all the rest of it. I appreciate that. At the same time, I think when you look at what Ashley Young did to force him through to Inter, when you look at other players, I think that Pogba has been actually quite respectful to Manchester United. He's not been protected by Manchester United, and I think that poor Pogba, a lot of what is written about him is basically not true, and I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves the club in the summer. It's as simple as that, really. Phil Jones will win the Ballon d'Or, says United. Will he now? Will he now? Will Phil Jones? Will he now? I just don't think so. Will he now? He's the next Bobby Moore. Paul Pogba, you mean? Georgia B, quick recap on Fred's comments. So that's a good thing. So a quick recap on Fred's comments. So I posted a video basically earlier today about what Fred basically said about Manchester United and the state of Manchester United Football Club, and how he basically gave, well, essentially, I'll read this. In fact, let me just link up the article that I got it. So I'll just quickly, we'll get this. We'll get the Sun. We'll get it from the Sun. Let me just load this up for you guys. Sorry, internet is just very, very slow. I apologize. It is what it is. Okay. Let's see if this slide share will work, or otherwise share screen so you guys can at least see what I'm reading at. There we go. So this is the article in the Sun anyway. So hopefully everyone can see this. Are we? No. Ooh, I think we're back. Doesn't like. Doesn't like. You know what? It's causing this share screen is causing me some connection issues, unfortunately. So I'm going to stop it, and I'll just read you the comments. Sorry about that, guys. So anyway, let me just quickly read the Fred's comments. So apologies about that. So basically, Fred basically said that he basically did an interview with De Sola, and he said, we are lacking a lot right now. First of all, we need to figure out things on the pitch. We are lacking creativity, especially in midfield. We also need to improve as a group. Our group lacks the sticking together mentality. We have lots of problems. There are lots of discussions. Every group has this sort of problem, but ours has this. Vanity is also an issue, and we need to stop this and just run on the pitch. We need to stick to a goal inside our minds, focus on it, and go forward. We need to be on the same page, and today some players have different objectives. There are players that just want to solve problems alone, and that is wrong. You know, that's basically what Fred is saying, and I think that that is just damning about what's going on at Manchester United right now. Very, 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 very damning. He gave this interview to Yolo and Chiba and said, check my views I posted later today. But this is Fred, who's arguably one of our best players over the last couple of months, basically saying that the way that the club is run, managed, and the players, that there's no unity at all. There's no unity at all. And that is quite frightening, given that we're coming into what is going to be a defining part of our season. So hopefully that's a brief summary about what Fred's comments are. Please check my my video that I posted earlier today about it. Link will be in the description, but just look at the channel. More of your comments now. Be Fred the talking the truth. He was talking the truth, definitely. And Ilianitis Pogba doesn't want to be at United. George B. Pogba lets Riolo do the talking. Yeah, fair enough. But to be honest, Raiola's comments about Manchester United, his recent comments, a lot of people say Raiola's a scumbag, he's awful. But were Raiola's comments, when you compare to what Fred has basically just said, were Raiola's comments false? No, they were true. They were 100% true. So there you go. Talbot says, I think that he was too expensive, waste of 88 million. Yeah, but he's our most talented player. And unfortunately, when a club is mismanaged, is disorganized, and has no ambition, no directive, you want out. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. I meant about Jones. What, Jones being 88 million or Pogba? Joe Abraham, shout out to you. Thank you so much. We might not even be in Europa, let alone CL next season. Dark times ahead. Yeah, I mean, there are dark times for Manchester United. It could get a lot worse. It very much could get a lot worse because, personally, for me, to be honest, I would just bail out the Europa League entirely. I would. I really, really would, because I don't think it helps. I think that if we can just focus on the Premier League and the league just every week, like Chelsea did a few years back when they were so far out, then that would actually give us, we wouldn't have as many games, we wouldn't have as many injuries, and we could just plow on and just go forward. I just think that being in the Europa League, especially playing on Thursday, causes us a lot of problems. So if we go out of the Europa League, I don't think it's a big deal. But we obviously want Champions League football, and that's what we're pushing towards. Toba B. Lingard would be the star of a weak Polish league. Fair enough. There's a lot of Lingard slander here. You know, it's Messi Lingard. Remember, guys, it's Messi Lingard. Georgia B. Fred will never become a team captain after remarks like that. Yes, I mean, yes. Unfortunately, much like De Gea, when De Gea said it wasn't good enough and got stripped of captaincy, I think that Fred, I think Fred could have potentially been dropped, because I think initially Fred wasn't doing particularly well. I think the only reason why Fred won't be dropped is because we desperately need a midfield, and he's played so well. It's really as simple as that. I've seen the same levels of 2015 fan. United, Fred was saying Fred is true. Fred was being truthful, but could have been a lot more brutal. To be honest, I think Fred was brutal. I think Fred was very, very brutal. I think Fred, when you're talking about, saying that players in your squad, that in your team that they're players that have different objectives, that they're players that are vain. He used the word vanity. That there's no togetherness, that there's no creativity in the midfield. I think that's very, very damning, to be honest. I think that's probably the harshest that I think any player or pundit has been about Manchester United so far, without directly mentioning names or teammates, etc. I hate to say, United never again will be successful. The Glazers still here. I think everyone knows that. I think I should probably put a tag in here saying #Glazers out. But it is what it is, unfortunately. Unless the Glazers sell, which I don't think they will, Ilya, we're just going to have to deal with it. And so what I would say, though, is that the Glazers are not the one that picks the team. And tactically, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the coaching staff have gotten a lot of things wrong this season. That doesn't excuse the issues with the board, but I do think that tactically, Solskjaer has got a lot of things wrong this season. Sorry, just get some water here. Nice. Speaking a lot. Water. Oh, nice water. Joe Abraham, we would lose so much money without Europe, which leads to no investment, which makes the team worse. That's true. United do get a lot of their money from the worldwide base. But, how long will that last? Liverpool seem to be going up further and further and further. So this is the thing, I think that if the board had a bit of foresight, they would look at things and go, hang on a minute, we've got to be careful here because, yes, okay, we're still getting tons of money now. We're the biggest club in the world. We've got a worldwide fan base, blah, blah, blah. But what's going to happen in 10 years' time? When Liverpool, when City, when our other rivals take over, what's going to happen then? Maybe the Glazers don't care. I don't know. As long as they're still getting decent money, maybe they don't care. I don't know. But dark times. George says Fred didn't single out any coaching staff. No, he didn't. He didn't. But what I would say about that is that who's responsible for these things? Who's responsible for the creativity issue? Who's responsible for the tactics? Who's responsible for the lack of goals or all these things? Who's responsible for those things? It's the coach. So while he didn't single out any individuals either, but ultimately the team who's responsible for these things is the coach. And so even though he didn't single out anyone, clearly it's a jibe at the way that Manchester United are doing things. Vain sounds like Lingard and Pogba. You say that though, but the thing is, when you look at when Pogba has been, because people I think are saying this, but a part of me feels that, I mean, I don't know about Lingard, but certainly Pogba, because you could see the interaction between Pogba and Fred when they play together. Clearly, there's a connection there. So I do wonder whether it is Pogba. I think possibly because he mentions different people with different objectives. And I think possibly there are other players, maybe some of the English players like the Rashfords and the Lingards, or even the Maguires, to be honest. Possibly maybe even Harry Maguire maybe might be part of this. So who knows? Ollie still loves with Andreas. Nothing will change without a director of football. It's fair enough. Take care, Talbot. All the best. Rashi seems humble to me. Well, we don't know what goes on behind closed scenes, George. We just don't know. We don't know. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to call that a wrap. So just because I've just because of technical issues, but also because I'm also quite tired my own self. So, but thank you so much, guys, for everyone who basically was part of the Sunday Night Live Q&A. I will hopefully be doing these pre-recorded. What I will do from now on, because I am a lot of short time these days, so doing a lot of these live things is becoming increasingly difficult. So what I will do, having got a bit of inspiration from United Man, is every week I will post a link or in the community section of the channel. If you just post the questions that you want me to address for the week in the Sunday Night Live Q&A, what I would do is I will address them or have a proper video catered towards your questions. So that the format and the design of the video is a lot more nicer and better. So it's got more graphic detail, and you can actually just enjoy what you're watching rather than just seeing this United badge. Oh, Rasmus A, shout out. I've just joined, but it's the end of the show. Man, shout out to my mate Rasmus A. Thank you so much. I was just saying to everyone, like, what I will do from now with Sunday Night Live, because so I'm having to just head off now, is just from now, what I will do is I will post in the community tab what questions you want basically for me to address, and I'll basically pre-record these sessions, and then I'll just make it as if it's kind of like a live, a pre-recorded live show, and I'll basically just interact with you guys in the comments that way. And that's how we'll basically do things from there. That way, I can interact with you guys in the comments. I'll pre-record these things, so it's just a lot easier for me, and we can address your questions in a more professional way. So that's how we're going to take things from henceforth, as well as other things. Thanks everyone for watching. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. I will hopefully be producing a timetable of how I feel the schedule for Red Devil Studio Live, Red Devil Studio is going to go forward, with just a bit more structure for what you can expect, and take things from there. Rasmus say, blame on Zlatan and Messi. I was watching them. What were you watching? I'm curious. What were you watching? But yeah, I'll be posting a weekly schedule of what you can expect from Red Devil Studio Live, which will include Manchester United news, the PES 2020 live streams, stuff like this, and so on. And so we'll hopefully sort of take things from there. Have a nice evening, guys, and cheers.